I just got $1 million worth of funding. That's right. In a previous video and also this year when we were on a losing streak, I actually lost $1 million worth of challenges. But right now I've got $1 million worth of funding. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the companies that I'm funded with, what my goals are in terms of payouts. And as you've already may or may not have seen, I just hit the FTMO leaderboard coming in second place, did a 20k payout, got another 20 pending, and the payouts are now really starting to stack. And this is what it's all about. Is when all the hard work pays off, is when you are funded. This is where it starts. This is not where it ends, because people always think, okay, cool, now I'm funded, I'm going to make loads of money. That's not the case. The case is literally this is where it's most important to really stay focused and stay focused at the task at hand. Now, I have got $1 million worth of funding, and the problem is I found a huge obstacle, something huge that could mess up everything in my space of trading. So I'm going to address that in today's video, and not only that as well, I'm going to go through what my plans are, and is it a potential time to shift to futures maybe, and all of these problems and solutions that are going through my head that I want to discuss with you, so you can also think about it as well. Because getting to the end goal is one step. It's like, okay, now what's the next step? And maybe you guys can even start at a fresh foot, or even get to a different type of way of funding, or even get there even faster, which is the whole point of all of these videos, is to learn from my mistakes, learn from my journey, and put as much jam-packed value as possible in these videos. So my name is Dan Chung, aka a wannabe champ. The idea of wannabe champ is to always want to be a champ, and to always to improve, and great, do it again, but better. I've been up to 2.5 million funded. I did like 100k in 1 month, and now obviously you've seen I am now $1 million funded. Now in terms of the million funding, the breakdowns, I have got 400k with FTMO, so max allocation. I have 200k with Alpha Capital, which was a new one. I have 200k FundedNext. I also have 100k 5%ers and 100k with funding pips. Now 100k with funding pips is still on onboarding process. They're still reviewing the account, and I'm just going to give like a quick little summary of each of those companies and my experience so far. Now FTMO is goated. It's 400k. It's not really been a problem. Literally, I can't say anything bad. It's the number one firm I think that's out there that you all should try and trade with and have in your portfolio. I do think that I'm going to go for the quant lane and the prime status. That is something that I'm focusing on heavily at the moment. So I need to really change the way I'm trading, because the challenges I trade a little bit more aggressively, but I really need to tone that down because I can see it's affecting the way I'm trading funded accounts. Alpha Capital is quite good, though the slippage is a little bit high. The lot size is a bit weird as well. I'd say an average condition. I wouldn't say it's amazing or worse. I just think that is as well with the problem I'm going to talk about later. Alpha Capital actually sits at one of the solutions. Only FTMO and Alpha Capital are okay with that, and of course CK Capital also have the same solution, but I'll talk about it a little bit later. FundedNext, you can't copy trade. That's the problem that I'm having at the moment, but I'll go into that more details later. The execution was quite good. It's a little bit too volatile on gold, but now I've actually reduced trading from gold. The process was quite seamless. I got my account quite fast. I can't really say too much anything negative about FundedNext. I generally think the process has been quite good. I actually quite like the fact that their dashboard is really up to date. I think it's probably one of the cleanest dashboards in the game, that's for sure, which then makes it more user friendly, which then makes it easier to buy challenge, easier to navigate through the overall like page and dashboard as a whole. Then we've got 5%ers. So I've got 100k with 5%ers. Now with 5%ers, the only problem I have is they put me on a huge risk, and not only that as well, there's a lot of political stuff with them as well, which is kind of why I may not scale with them, or this will potentially be one of the last times I talk about them on this channel, just because I don't want to get into those political things, and I don't really want to promote or be associated with that kind of stuff, and I'm easily okay just to drop funding for principles and morals. Then we've got 100k with funding pips. Now funding pips, there were only 2 negatives that I really didn't enjoy. I came in at a really good time because they just got MT5 as well, so pretty much all of these accounts are all on MT5 except for 200k FTMO, that's on a C trader account. And on the funding pips, the 2 problems I had was, one, it literally went past my take profit by like a good fair amount. Like I got to go back and find the video, but it went past there and it didn't trigger. That was the only negative, and it was normal market conditions, and I really hope it doesn't give like TFT vibes, but that was the only negative. Other than that, it was pretty seamless. Getting phase 2 was fairly quick. I had to wait until the end of the day, so very similar to 5%ers, but overall funding pips was quite good. Then the second thing is waiting for the onboarding. I think it's just because it's my first time and their KYC is a little bit slower than general. So that's a little bit of a summary about all of these companies. Now, I generally think that all of you guys should get funded with FTMO. I think Alpha Capital, funding pips, 5%ers, FundedNext, they're all down to your own discretion. Like what looks more legit to you, which one do you like? But as far as I'm concerned, every single one of these firms pay out, and every single one of these firms are going to stand the test of time, have stood the test of time, and going to stand longer as well, which is one of the reasons I got funded with them, because I didn't want to waste my time like last year to do all of that stuff, get funded, and then not get paid out. Like that is the most frustrating thing ever. Hey guys, hope you guys are enjoying the video so far. Don't forget to check link in the description below to get your discount off of your challenge down below. So go and get that discount and also help support this channel. Peace. Let's get back to the video. So in essence, I think that CK Capital has it, and this is the biggest problem that I've had so far now hitting 1 million funded, is I cannot copy trade. Now, CFT doesn't allow you to copy trade. You can copy trade within your own accounts at CFT, but you can't trade with them. You can't do it at 5%ers. You can't copy trade. FundedNext doesn't allow you to external. Now, Alpha does if you request it, which is just, I think it has to be the master as opposed to the slave. FTMO has no restrictions on that. CK Capital, you can also do that as well. Now, this is a huge problem because now that I have nearly 8 accounts and probably more and more challenges, I can't keep just logging into every account and say take one trade and do them all. It's much easier to have them copy traded. Now, I haven't actually gone out to reach out to them and just ask for specific permissions. That may be possible. I'll have a follow-up video coming soon for you guys to see if that is possible. But from going on their terms and conditions and their FAQ and asking the mods, you cannot copy trade on all of them. Like FundedNext exclusively said no. 5% said no, and who else was there? Funding pips also said no. So that means I have to manually trade those. Now, to scale up and think to myself, like if I had 1 million funded, right, and I had them all copy traded, if I just did 10%, that's 100k. But the problem is I can't do that on like 6 accounts logging in and out. I can only really at the moment have 600k, well, the 400k FTMO copy trading, and then the potential of Alpha Capital, if they allow me, that 200k, so that's 600k. And then all the other ones I can't copy trade. So that kind of becomes a little bit of a problem. Now, I could potentially log in and out off of 2 accounts. That's not the end of the world. But you end up missing pricing, you end up missing opportunities, and it's a bit stressful kind of trying to do that. Now, another option I've considered to do is loading up a personal and then just focusing on FTMO, because FTMO, if you actually get quant lane and you get status, you can get 600k funded, you can get up to 1 million funded, and you can also get a quant lane contract as well. So I'm thinking about making a whole quant lane series over the next year of just trying to get to a quant lane trader. I think that'll be quite cool journey to becoming an FTMO quant lane trader. I think that'll be really interesting. It, you know, really test my ability to trade, and I really found that trading funded capital and prop firms have really instilled good habits, but also some bad habits as well. The bad habits is that I'm not really taking drawdown as seriously as I should be. And the good habits are I'm much more focused on the risk to reward element as opposed to letting runners go, which is a good and bad thing, because again, I could be making more or making less. I'm not really too sure, but the profits are definitely a lot more consistent as opposed to a bit more of a yo-yo equity curve that I had before. You know, thinking back on it or having the open conversation which I had recently is like futures, that a lot of people were doing 7 figures. We've seen a lot of traders being paid 7 figures as well. So I've got an option of going into futures, getting like 20 accounts copied and just doing it that way. You know, Funded Futures is now launched as well, so another company I would trade with. Apex, you can get 20 accounts. Top Steps, you can get all of those, but I just don't know how long they're going to last, and the future space does seem like a little bit of a bubble like it was with the FX space. So I'm in that dilemma at the moment. And the question I've got to ask myself and I've got to think is like, what is my end goal? Well, the end goal is to get 1 million in profits within one single calendar year. Now, it is very possible, but it's going to be incredibly difficult, and I'm not setting myself up for success if I have to keep changing between all of these accounts. And the goal is actually to get 3 million funded. And if I get 3 million funded, all I have to do is just consistently rotate those accounts and get them. But that does require copy trading. And if I can't copy trade, there must be another route or another method that I have to focus on. So right now I've got two options, and let me know what you guys think. Do you think it should be the futures? You know, should I do a whole futures? Or the other option is I focus on FTMO and potentially Alpha Capital as well. Focus on the scale up because I can get 600k, so that will be 800k total. Then if I do my own 200k personal, that's a million. Then I can grow that to a million, and then I just focus trading on that 1 million account all year, which is possible, but I don't see myself making a million just from those. So there has to be at least 2 or 3 million in total funding that I really need to obtain to make my life easier, and also not to over risk and to do anything you know, not in the right space as such to speak. So you know, I'm kind of in this. I've got the pros and cons. I'm not really too sure. You know, I'll update you guys if you want to see on the vlogs channel. But you know, even though that was a problem in the video, but I wanted to share with you, like, you know, I got to $1 million funding and how I've broken it down, is that it's great because me failing the challenge also shows to show it's just part of the process. A lot of people say, oh, he should never fail a challenge. Yeah, if I take them seriously, I would never fail a challenge. But the thing is, I'm not in that position where I take one challenge and take 2 months to pass it. I'm going through them to get to the funding, and then once I'm at the funded stage, my goal is to consistently get these payouts, which you're about to see over the next upcoming months, and consistently compound them so I can get to 7 figures. And we've already broached 6 figures already, which is amazing. And that's the power of scaling up. Is because once you can have like a 50k account or like a 100k account, if you do say 5k payout on a 100k account and you had $1 million of funding, that's 50k in a total payout. So if you do 50k every quarter, literally that's 4 times in a year, you literally be making 200k from trading. Now 200k is a lot of money. That can change a lot of lives. You can do a lot with that. You can live free. That's your rent covered for however long, however much your rent is. Whoever's watching this video, imagine that divided by 200k. So that could keep you living for a very long time. So prop firms are powerful. I think it's amazing. I'm in this weird space right now, like I'm $1 million funded, but I don't know what to do. And I'm just slowly trading it. And right now I'm only focusing on the FTMO ones, where the other ones I'm just kind of sitting and reviewing, because 5%ers I'm thinking about just dropping anyway. And then on funding pips, I'm waiting to be onboarded. FundedNext, that can always just be a backup account. I guess I can just keep trading that just for fun in the background, and then only focus on the 600k funding as my main account. Because one real big thing I want to do this year is just focus on one account for the rest of the year and just see where we can take that, and not constantly withdraw profits. I had this conversation openly. It's like withdrawing profits back to the main balance is probably a very detrimental thing for trading when you're supposed to be compounding and growing it, and also increasing your skill as a trader. So what you focus on is what you get. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and also do cop a challenge down in the link in the description below if you are inspired to go get funded yourself. We've got plenty of partnerships, 10%, 120% refund, whatever it is you want to trade with, even if it's with FTMO, Alpha, any of the ones that I spoke about today, they are all in the link in the description below. Not only that as well, in this video we will do a giveaway, so do check that out. And also we're giving away a free worksheet on how to get into trading, which will all come for free in the Telegram link below. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next one. Champ out. Peace.